ball game, folks, as Flutie takes the snap. He drops straight back, has some time. Now scrambles away from one hit. Looks, uncorks a deep one for the end zone. Phelan is down there.
Oh, he got it!
Did he get it?
He got it!
Touchdown! 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 Touchdown, Boston College! He did it! He did it! Flutie did it! He got Phelan in the end zone! Touchdown!
I don't believe.
Oh, my goodness! What a play! Flutie to Gerard Phelan! 48 yards! No time on the clock! It's all over! It is over! Boston College has won this football game!
The suburban atmosphere of Chestnut Hill is the home of the Eagles of Boston College. Only minutes from Boston and all it has to offer in history, education, and leisure activities, Boston College, a mixture of tradition and innovation, truly offers its students a commitment to excellence and a genuine concern dedicated to the development of the whole person. The largest Catholic university in the country, it has emerged as an acclaimed academic and athletic institution. In just 4 years, Coach Jack Bicknell has led the Eagles program to national prominence, winning the Lambert Trophy signifying Eastern football supremacy for the last 2 years. Boston College also has appeared in 3 consecutive postseason bowl games, and in 1984 boasted college football's most exciting and productive quarterback in the history of the game, number 22, Doug Flutie. Blending an opportunistic offense with a bend but don't break defense, the Eagles of '84 mounted a high-flying challenge as it strove ever to excel. Following a 44-24 opening day drubbing of Western Carolina, the Eagles began their tough road schedule with a trip to the football capital of the South to meet the 9th-ranked Crimson Tide of Alabama. Capitalizing on an early Tide turnover, Boston College scored first on a Troy Stratford effort. But the lead was short-lived as the Crimson offense rolled to a 31-14 advantage early in the third quarter. It was then that defensive standout Tony Thurman picked off his first of 3 interceptions for the game, keying a comeback that would characterize the Eagles of '84. Doug Flutie then called his own number and dove in from the 5. The gap narrowed. Showing his speed and versatility, Flutie moves the team again. His play answers any critic's questions about his size. Coach Jack Bicknell observes.
He's got more quickness than the people that are chasing him, obviously, and he gets the ball off quickly, and I don't think the good Lord made too many people 6'3" with everything, you know, so there's a guy 5'10", that the only thing he lacks is height. I mean, he has a great arm, instinct, quickness, feet, everything you want, but I tell you, it has not been a factor in any of our games, and I don't think he'll ever be a factor in his future.
The dramatic comeback is capped with a 42-yard breakaway by All-America tailback Troy Stratford. With the defense limiting the Tide to but 41 second-half yards and Flutie's 2 fourth-down touchdown passes, Boston College serves notice that they will be a team to be reckoned with in the '84 campaign. The 2,500-plus light bulbs in Sullivan Stadium scoreboard announced the next challenger, North Carolina. An extra week's preparation apparently paid dividends as the Eagles' offense flew to a 28-0 halftime lead. Flutie was again firing darts as he found Kelvin Martin in the midst of 5 Carolina defenders. Later, he patiently picked out a wide-open Troy Stratford, who won the race for the corner to record his 2nd touchdown reception of the half. The option play, run Flutie style, turned into his 4th of 6 record-setting touchdown passes for the game when he hit Scott Gieselman. The Eagles were flying high. The quarterback's 345-yard output on a 29-for-40 performance coupled with Troy Stratford's third consecutive 100-plus yard and 2-touchdown day, were major contributions to a 600-yard offensive explosion that leveled Carolina. The Temple Owls tested Boston College in a homecoming game that saw the Eagles depending on the big play. The offensive play of the game came with no time left on the clock in the first half, when Flutie heaved a 51-yard Hail Mary bomb to Gerard Phelan. Then in the final stanza, safety Dave Pereira intercepted a tipped Owl aerial and returned it 35 yards to ensure a 24-10 victory.
The plays.
The Flutie for the Heisman contingency was again treated to an aerial assault by Sir Douglas of the Dart. This Flutie to Stratford toss was good for a 35-yard score on his way to a 21 for 30, 318-yard, 3-touchdown pass day. The defense toughened to the task. Linebacker John Galvin nailed the Scarlets' Eric Hochberg. Then it was John Bose's turn. And fittingly, a group effort. Leading 21-10 at half, the Eagles struck quickly following a Ken Bell kickoff return good for 92 yards down to the Rutgers 4, where Doug Flutie finished it off from there. Junior nose guard Mike Ruth has been described as the man with thigh-sized arms, able to bench press 540 pounds. It's no wonder he has made his presence felt on enough occasions during the past 2 seasons to be twice named to the All-East team and to win the '84 George Bulger Lowe Award as the top defensive player in New England. Meanwhile, defensive teammate Tony Thurman, number 17, a consensus All-America safety, added 2 more interceptions to his total at Rutgers' expense. By season's end, he would lead the nation with 12 for the season, establishing a new Boston College record. A victory this day over the Scarlet Knights was sealed with this fourth-quarter sprint by Tyrone Taylor, lifting the Eagles to a 5-1 record as they prepared to meet perennial Eastern power Penn State. For the third time in 1984, the 7th-ranked Eagles played in front of a nationwide TV audience. 85,000 Lion fans were looking forward to a battle of land and air forces. The first quarter saw both teams move the ball grudgingly. At the end of the period, Penn State led 3-0. Early in the second, Ken Bell, replacing the injured Troy Stratford, stutter-stepped his way through the line and weaved through the secondary en route to a 71-yard score that would give Boston College a brief lead. Within the next 6 minutes, the Nittany Lions would tally twice, forcing the Eagles to take to the air in an attempt to come back. Doug Flutie's pass to Gerard Phelan shattered the NCAA career total offense mark held by Brigham Young's Jim McMahon. His assault on the record book was not over, as he became the first player ever to surpass 10,000 total yards. Against the Lions alone, Flutie would set a collegiate record 1,445 total offense yards against one opponent in his 13 quarters of action against Penn State. The Eagles closed the gap on Steve Strahan's burst up the middle. Midway through the final stanza, Flutie's statistics mount: 337 yards in the second half alone, 447 in the game, 29 for 53. The never-say-die Boston College offense brings them to within 7, but there the rally ends. Penn State's ground game proves too strong on this night. The most prolific passer in the annals of collegiate football. From button hooks to bombs, dodging, darting, and diving. All these describe Doug Flutie, the game's best.
At all times, you're trying to prove to the other team that you're better. And when you're down by 10 points or whatever the score is, it's time to dig a little deeper, and you can't make mistakes now. If you're past the point where a mistake won't hurt you. So you just concentrate a little harder, and you're bearing down, and everybody seems to pull together a little harder. And that's why our team's been able to come back, is that everybody seems to pull together under tougher situations. The defense can keep us in any game. And they've come through for us when they need to do the job. They're always there, and they have done it. And they know for a fact that we're going to do it eventually. It's just a matter of when. So it's a total offense. It's not the Doug Flutie show. It's an outstanding offensive team.
The records of Doug Flutie may someday be surpassed, but the example of a job well done, of his constant striving for excellence, of his leadership and encouragement to his teammates will long be remembered. The unsung laborers of the defense knew they would have their hands full with Army's effective wishbone offense. Constantly adjusting to attempt to thwart enemy thrusts, they fought to give the ball to their own potent offense. Behind 7-0, Flutie picked up 38 yards on a pass to flanker Sean Dombrowski. 2 plays later, it was Flutie to Kelvin Martin, who got to the 1 to set up a go-ahead dive by Steve Strahan. Despite rolling up yardage on their complex attack, not every option brought the desired results. Later in the second quarter, Kelvin Martin gathered in an Army punt at the Army 45 and raced untouched to the end zone to extend the Eagle lead. Army closed within 10, but this cadet effort was denied by a determined John Boza. A master of improvisation, Flutie showed he could run as well as pass. Earlier, he had added yet another record to his credit, overtaking Duke's Ben Bennett in career passing yardage. Flutie's versatility as a total threat was unquestionable. The fourth quarter began with another Strahan dive, successfully completing a 70-yard drive. Senior standout Tony Thurman racked up one of his 10 solo hits in his finale at Alumni Stadium as the Eagles closed out their home season in high-flying style. Thanksgiving in Miami was a wet one, and game day conditions suggested the anticipated aerial bombardment might not develop, and the coaches would have to use a different strategy. Doubts were quickly removed when the Eagles drove 84 yards on their first series, gaining 72 through the air, the last 33 coming from this Kelvin Martin reception. Flutie moved the ball again. Martin's concentration paid off. The power and grace of Troy Stratford was evidence on this 10-yard gainer. Ken Bell got the call to finish off the series successfully. 14-0, Eagles. Opposing lineman's Excedrin headache number 22. An overdose of Flutie ball. Bad if you're on defense. An enjoyable treat if you're on offense. The Hurricanes fight back to a tie, but Flutie outfoxed them and dived into the end zone for a momentary advantage in the seesawing scoring duel. Flutie's versatility, plus the protective consistency of offensive linemen like Sean Regent, Mark Bardwell, Jack Bicknell, Steve Trapillo, and Mark McDonald again pay off. High score. Flutie looks for and sees a crack in the coverage. He fires to his roommate and favorite target, Gerard Phelan. A ground replay shows the accuracy and speed that was necessary for the pass to find its mark. Kozar tries to force one. Freshman linebacker Bill Romanowski comes up with it. Snow adds another three-pointer. Boston College 34-31. But Miami scores again. Flutie engineers another 80-yard drive. He goes to Phelan twice. A key third down reception keeps the drive alive. Finally, Strahan drives it across to reclaim a precarious lead. Less than 4 minutes. The drama of college football is no more apparent than in this final quarter. Bernie Kosar and the Hurricanes of Miami conjure up one more concerted effort, fighting the clock and the Eagle defense. They are a team with a common purpose. The pride of a national champion is on the line. Such a team won't give up. All energies are directed toward the promised land that is called the end zone. The last few inches are taken airborne. 79 yards in 12 plays. To nearly all, the contest is decided. Ordinarily, such a drive would diffuse any team's spirit. But not the Eagles, and most of all, not Doug Flutie. Boston College football is about to experience its golden hour.
He's got an amazing knack. He's the kind of guy that late in the game, he wants the ball in his hands. You see guys like that every now and then. He gives a team the feeling that they're never out of anything. And he also, by example, we're never going to give up because he's going to keep battling you every second that he's out there. I think that's something that rubs off on other people on the team. They just feel like, hey, this thing is not over yet. We still got plenty of time. Let's stay after it. And I think that's been a very important thing in our program.
The miracle in Miami will join the lore of magical moments in college football for years to come. In an ending almost beyond belief, the Eagles of Boston College come forth victorious, sealing their invitation to meet the Houston Cougars in the Cotton Bowl. As tri-captains, Scott Harrington, Mark McDonald, and David Thomas gathered for the last coin toss of the regular season against traditional rival Holy Cross. Some were concerned the team's thoughts were on the game just past or the bowl to come. Quickly removing any such fears, BC mounted a scoring threat on its first possession. Flutie hit Sean Dombrowski for a long game. A short toss to Troy Stradford in the backfield turned into an unscathed touchdown route. A second quarter turnover caused by Chuck Gorecki gave the offense another opportunity. Steve Strahan gets the call. By intermission, it's a 17-10 game. The third quarter marks disaster for Holy Cross. Todd Russell pilfers a Crusader pass following a Stradford 45-yard touchdown effort. Then it's Flutie to Flutie for 2 touchdowns. The first through the air on a 30-yard touchdown strike. And then the second effort run to push the score to 38-10. A final 39-yard scoring pass to Kelvin Martin ends a typical 3-touchdown, 276-yard day for Doug Flutie. Topping off a season of success, that night Flutie was officially announced the 50th winner of the Heisman Trophy. A preseason goal of the Boston College Eagles was to be playing on January 1st. The dream became reality when Boston College met the Houston Cougars in what many felt would be a super classic. While a national championship may not have been on the line, both teams were playing for the pride of their programs, and Boston College in particular was hungry for a bowl victory. Tradition has shown All-Americas and Heisman Trophy winners have performed well in Dallas. Doug Flutie's first-half execution was disappointing to no one, except maybe some Cougar fans. His mid-period strike to Kelvin Martin produced the game's first score on a 63-yard pass to pay dirt. The defense, led by MVP Bill Romanowski, number 53, came up with the big plays. Here, Mike Ruth recovered a Cougar fumble. Flutie wasted little time enjoying the protection offered him by his offensive line, dubbed the Secret Service, and delivered an on-target toss to Troy Stradford, giving the Eagles a 14-7 lead. In the second quarter, Flutie was again on the mark, this time combining with All-America wideout Gerard Phelan. Coupled with a Kevin Snow field goal, the Eagles hold a 17-point advantage. The unusual can and usually does happen in the big games. This Todd Russell interception proved to be a key play as it set up another Boston College scoring opportunity from the Houston 39. Six plays later, the familiar figure of Steve Strahan dove into the end zone for a 31-7 Eagle lead. While Houston did make a second-half comeback, the Eagles cemented their first bowl win since the days of Frank Leahy, bolstered by the 18-yard sweep of Troy Stradford. It is the end of the Doug Flutie era at Boston College. A multi-million-dollar career with the USFL's New Jersey Generals awaits him. For Eagle fans, Boston College football has arrived. Flutie's legacy will be a program of promise to those who follow.
Well, down the line, I think we've got a solid program now. I'm not saying we're a top 10 team every single year, but I think that we're a good football program with good athletes, and we've got good kids in the program, and football is important here now, and there's a lot of excitement in the East and this part of the Northeast, and I see a lot of good things for us.
The future of Boston College football is a rising star on the horizon. It, like the college itself, will continue in its efforts ever to excel.